Even if you are drinking protein shakes every day, lifting weights 3 times a week, and getting your 8 hours of sleep, you could still be losing precious muscle mass. This is the hidden epidemic facing millions of people over 60, and the common advice you're getting is tragically wrong. You've been told to just eat more protein, right? To load up on chicken breasts and whey powder. But what if I told you that for seniors, the type and timing of your nutrients matter far more than the sheer amount? Forget the expensive protein powders and supplements for a moment. In this video, I'm going to reveal 2 almost forgotten foods that you should be eating to rebuild muscle, especially as you age. The second one, in particular, when eaten at night, can turn your sleep into a powerful muscle-building session. I'm starting with the most nutrient-dense food on the planet first. Then, I'll share the nighttime secret weapon that most people over 60 are completely missing. And that's not all. I will also expose 3 so-called health foods that are secretly sabotaging your strength, blocking nutrient absorption, and accelerating age-related muscle loss. The last one is probably in your kitchen pantry right now. You must avoid these if you are serious about staying strong, independent, and vital. If you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe. Your body will thank you. Let's dive in. The first forgotten muscle-building powerhouse is beef liver. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Liver? But please hear me out. For generations before the rise of flashy supplement tubs, this was nature's original multivitamin and strength builder. There is no man-made supplement on Earth that can compete with its nutritional profile, especially for rebuilding aging muscle tissue. Here is why it's so effective. As we age, our ability to convert nutrients into muscle tissue becomes less efficient. We need foods that are not only rich in protein but also packed with the cofactors that make muscle synthesis possible. Beef liver is the undisputed king. First, it contains all the B vitamins in perfect harmony, especially B12 and folate. These aren't just for energy. They are critical for a process called methylation, which is essential for repairing DNA in your muscle cells and creating new proteins. Without adequate B vitamins, the protein you eat can't be efficiently used to build muscle. Many seniors who feel fatigued despite eating enough protein are often deficient in these key B vitamins. A single 4-ounce serving of beef liver provides over 3,000% of your daily B12 needs. But it gets even better. Beef liver is one of the world's best sources of coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10. You may have seen this sold as an expensive heart health supplement. In your body, CoQ10 functions like a spark plug inside your muscle cells' mitochondria, the tiny power plants that generate energy. As we age, our natural CoQ10 production plummets, leaving our muscles feeling weak and easily fatigued. By replenishing your CoQ10 levels with liver, you are directly fueling your muscles at a cellular level, giving them the energy they need to contract, repair, and grow stronger. A fascinating study from Tokyo Metropolitan University looked at the effects of CoQ10 on older adults. They found that participants who supplemented with CoQ10 showed significant improvements in muscle strength and a reduction in fatigue compared to the placebo group. The researchers noted that CoQ10 helped protect muscle cells from oxidative stress, a key driver of age-related muscle breakdown, or sarcopenia. I'll never forget a client of mine, Arthur, a 78-year-old retired carpenter. He was frustrated because he was working out with light weights but felt he was getting weaker. He was eating what he thought was a healthy diet. When we looked deeper, we found his diet was lacking in these crucial micronutrients. I convinced him to try adding a small amount of pan-fried beef liver to his diet just twice a week. At first, he was hesitant, but the results were undeniable. Within 6 weeks, he reported that his get up and go had returned. His grip strength improved, and he was no longer exhausted after his workouts. He was finally giving his body the raw materials it was screaming for. Incorporating liver is simple. You don't need to eat it every day. Aim for a 4-ounce serving just twice a week. You can ask your butcher to slice it thin. A quick pan fry with some onions and a touch of butter is a classic method. The onion's sweetness helps balance the liver's rich flavor. If you truly dislike the taste, you can try dicing it into tiny pieces and mixing it into ground beef for meatballs or meatloaf. You won't even notice it's there, but your muscles will. Another option is high-quality desiccated liver capsules, which offer the benefits without the taste. Now, while beef liver provides the building blocks and cellular energy for muscle repair, you need to combine it with our next food for maximum overnight growth. If you only eat liver but neglect this next step, you're missing the most critical window for muscle rebuilding. This next food works in synergy with the nutrients from liver to ensure your body is in an anabolic or muscle-building state all night long. The second forgotten food is full-fat cottage cheese before bed. Yes, it's that simple. This humble dairy product is a secret weapon for anyone over 60 looking to combat muscle loss while they sleep. Here's the science behind it. Your muscles don't grow when you're exercising. They grow when you're resting and recovering. The most important recovery period is during deep sleep, when your body releases human growth hormone. During this 6 to 8 hour window, your body is in a fasted state and can start to break down muscle tissue for energy if it doesn't have a steady supply of amino acids. This is where cottage cheese comes in. Unlike whey protein, which is digested very quickly, cottage cheese is primarily made of casein protein. Casein is a slow-digesting protein. When you eat it, it forms a gel-like substance in your stomach, leading to a very slow and steady release of amino acids into your bloodstream over several hours. This effectively drip feeds your muscles all night long, preventing them from entering a catabolic or muscle-wasting state. It provides the exact building blocks your muscles need at the exact time they need them to repair the micro tears from your day's activities and build new, stronger tissue. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Nutrition confirmed this effect. Researchers gave one group of men a casein protein supplement before bed and another group a placebo. The group that consumed the casein showed a significantly positive overnight protein balance, meaning they were building more muscle than they were breaking down. The placebo group was in a state of negative protein balance. This single change turned their sleep from a catabolic event into an anabolic one. It's crucial to choose the right kind of cottage cheese. You must opt for full fat or at least 4% milk fat. The fat is not your enemy. Healthy dairy fat helps slow digestion even further, enhancing the steady release of amino acids. It also helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D, which, as we know, is essential for muscle function and testosterone production. Avoid the non-fat versions, which are often filled with sugars, gums, and other fillers to make them palatable. Look for a brand with simple ingredients: milk, cream, salt, and live cultures. Let me tell you about Eleanor, an 82-year-old grandmother who came to me concerned about her increasing frailty. She was afraid of falling. She had a very small appetite and would often skip dinner. She was visibly losing muscle in her arms and legs. We made one simple change. About an hour before her bedtime, she would have a small bowl, about half a cup, of full-fat cottage cheese. Sometimes she'd mix in a few berries or a sprinkle of cinnamon. That was it. Within 2 months, the change was remarkable. She felt more stable on her feet. Her family noticed she looked stronger, and a follow-up test showed she had not only stopped losing muscle, but had actually gained a pound of lean mass. That small nighttime habit gave her body the fuel it needed to reverse the decline. The strategy is simple. About 30 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep, have half a cup to a full cup of full-fat, plain cottage cheese. This simple, inexpensive habit can transform your sleep into your most productive muscle-building time of the day. However, all this effort could be for nothing. You could be eating liver and cottage cheese, but if you're also consuming certain common foods, you could be canceling out all the benefits. Most seniors have no idea they are actively damaging their muscles with foods they believe are healthy. After reviewing countless nutritional studies and working with thousands of seniors, I have identified the 3 health foods you must avoid. The first one is a staple in most households. The number 1 so-called health food you must avoid if you want to preserve muscle is whole wheat bread. This will come as a shock to many. We've been told for decades that whole grains and whole wheat are the cornerstones of a healthy diet, but for aging muscles, it can be a significant problem. Here's the hidden truth. Whole grains, including whole wheat, contain compounds called anti-nutrients. One of the most potent is phytic acid. Phytic acid binds to minerals in your digestive tract and prevents your body from absorbing them. It acts like a tiny magnet for essential muscle-building minerals like zinc, iron, and magnesium. Zinc is critical for producing testosterone and over 300 enzymes involved in muscle repair. Iron is essential for carrying oxygen to your muscles, and magnesium is involved in muscle contraction and protein synthesis. When you eat whole wheat bread with a meal, the phytic acid can significantly reduce the absorption of these vital minerals from all the other foods in that meal. You could be eating a zinc-rich piece of beef, but the whole wheat bun it's on is preventing your body from actually using that zinc. For seniors who are already at a higher risk for mineral deficiencies, this can be devastating for muscle health. Furthermore, most modern whole wheat bread has a high glycemic index, meaning it spikes your blood sugar and insulin levels rapidly. Chronic insulin spikes can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your cells stop responding to insulin signal to take up nutrients. This makes it much harder for amino acids to get into your muscle cells to be used for repair. These blood sugar spikes also lead to a surge in the stress hormone cortisol, which is highly catabolic and actively breaks down muscle tissue for energy, so your healthy morning toast could be setting you up for muscle loss throughout the day. The second food you need to be wary of is low-fat or non-fat yogurt. Just like with cottage cheese, the marketing has convinced us that fat is the enemy. But when companies remove the natural, healthy fat from yogurt, they have to replace it with something to make it taste good. That something is almost always sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial sweeteners, along with thickeners and gums. This added sugar creates the same insulin and cortisol spike we just discussed with bread, promoting fat storage and muscle breakdown. Furthermore, healthy dietary fat is absolutely essential for your body to produce hormones, including the muscle-building hormones testosterone and estrogen. A low-fat diet can starve your body of the building blocks it needs to maintain a healthy hormonal profile, which is a key factor in preventing sarcopenia. The fat in dairy is also required for you to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, all of which play roles in muscle health and recovery. By choosing the non-fat version, you're not only consuming a cocktail of sugar and additives, but you're also robbing yourself of the very nutrients that make yogurt healthy in the first place. Always opt for plain full-fat yogurt or Greek yogurt and add your own fruit if you want sweetness. If you thought those two were surprising, the last one is the most pervasive and destructive of all. The third food to avoid at all costs is industrial seed oils. I'm talking about canola, corn, soybean, safflower, sunflower, and vegetable oil. These oils are in everything: salad dressings, mayonnaise, margarine, baked goods, and are used in almost every restaurant. Here is the problem. These oils are incredibly high in an inflammatory type of fat called omega-6. While we need some omega-6, our modern diet provides a massive unnatural overdose. This chronic consumption of high omega-6 oils creates a state of low-grade systemic inflammation throughout your body. For your muscles, this is a disaster. Inflammation directly inhibits the signaling pathways for muscle growth, like the mTOR pathway. It's like trying to build a house during a constant earthquake. Chronic inflammation also increases the activity of enzymes that break down muscle tissue and accelerates the progression of sarcopenia. A study in the journal Nutrients found a direct link between high omega-6 intake and lower muscle mass and physical performance in older adults. The researchers concluded that this inflammatory diet was a significant contributing factor to frailty. To build and preserve muscle, you must reduce inflammation. The single most effective way to do this is to eliminate these industrial seed oils from your diet. Cook with stable, healthy fats like butter, ghee, coconut oil, or olive oil at low heat. Read labels religiously and ditch any product that contains these inflammatory oils. Which of these health foods have you been eating, thinking you were doing something good for your body? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and am truly interested to hear about your journey.